Welcome to today's Flip Nerd VIP show. Today I have with me Jana Uselton, who is the founder and CEO of Model My Home. She's an industry representative and speaks a lot on a number of topics from training to home staging and things like that. And before we get into our interview today, I'd like to take a moment to recognize our sponsors. RealtyMogul.com is an online marketplace for real estate investing, connecting borrowers and capital from accredited and institutional investors. Get a rehab loan fast and close in as little as 10 days. Rates start as low as 9%. We'd also like to thank National Real Estate Insurance Group, the nation's leading provider of insurance to the residential real estate investor market. From individual properties to large-scale investors, National Real Estate Insurance Group is ready to serve you. Please note, the views and opinions expressed by the individuals in this program do not necessarily reflect those of FlipNerd.com or any of its partners, advertisers, or affiliates. Please consult professionals before making any investment or tax decisions, as real estate investing can be risky. So, Jana, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. Good. Well, I know you a little bit because you operate primarily in the Dallas-Fort Worth market, and I know you do a lot of things nationally as well. So a lot of folks are starting to get to know you that don't know you already. And today I want to exacerbate that a little bit. Tell us a little bit about you. First, let's talk about you, and then we'll talk a little bit about Model My Home.
Okay, very good. Well, we're here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I have a great husband, 2 boys that keep us busy with sports. And worked for Texas Instruments for almost 10 years. I took real estate and design in college, ended up going into corporate America. We had a vacant property that would not sell in one of the suburbs, the Colony here. And we, tried and tried to sell this home without any offers. Had a local real estate agent let us know about staging. I'd asked, what if I bring some things back into this home? And he said, you mean staging? Well, this was in early 2000s before HGTV. Yeah. We brought some things back in and had 2 offers immediately. And that was the only variable that changed. We took this vacant, naked home and gave it a little bit of personality, and people responded.
Yeah, that's great. It's a real interesting topic because as a kind of a veteran real estate investor that sells a lot of houses and mentors people, I get asked all the time, what do you think about staging? Do you stage your homes? And I don't stage everything. In fact, we do stage almost everything to some level. Some of it, we just do some real minor things ourselves, and then some of it we hire a company out. But it's always an interesting question because most people either do it all the time or they don't do it at all.
Absolutely. I mean, they have to get it, and especially when this is a business for people,
right.
It's all about putting your best foot forward.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the challenges too. As investors tend to be very thrifty, and they're always they need to see that cost benefit, and they don't. They know that if it was free, they would do it all the time. So the question is it worth the investment, is my guess. But so that was the birth of Model My Home, or that was just the beginnings of you doing some things for your own properties?
It was the birth of Model My Home. I immediately sought out training and started a DBA, and the rest is history. We're now the largest home staging company in the country. We staged almost 700 homes in 2013.
Wow.
And that was actually hands-on staging. We helped several hundred others just with consultations and that type of thing. But it's been an amazing journey. We have just staged thousands and thousands over the years, and we have the statistics. We know the proof is there, and of course, with 2013, we had a kind of a crazy market here in our Dallas-Fort Worth, and people thought, let's just wait and see. We really don't need to stage, but we were having homes that were selling $20,000, $30,000 over, and of course, we had appraisal issues in some of those homes, but many of them went ahead. They raised that property value, and people literally for $1,000, $1,500 investment were able to make an extra $20,000. It was amazing.
Incredible. That's incredible.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about how your company is set up. I know you do a lot of houses, and I know that you're not doing it all yourself. So tell us a little bit about how your company is kind of organized.
Well, as a business owner, and I know many people listening are business owners, it was almost my goal to phase 3 out of my company. You know, phase 1, it's like the scenario of the cake maker in oh, what's the book? Goodness, I'm sorry. I'm having a blank here. But it was the scenario of the doing. You know, you're always doing everything. If you're phase 1, you're literally the marketing person. Yeah. You are finding homes. If you're an investor, you're probably doing some of the projects. E-Myth Revisited. That's the book.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, Michael Gerber. You know, it's
right behind me actually. So
yeah, you know, she's making all the cakes and she's so frustrated. So as a business owner, you find yourself get into that situation, and that's when you need to phase 2. So phase 2 means now you're managing. You have people on staff, and they're out actually doing the technical work. So that's kind of where we are in Model My Home. We have 20 stagers and reps that are out solidifying relationships with investors and real estate agents. Yeah. And then we have stagers that are actually servicing these homes. We have several projects going on right now as we speak.
Wow.
And so it's always about going to the next level. And you as a business owner have to figure out who your key people are. We've had to do that. We've had to go back to the drawing board. And so our business model is for not only to have people doing, also have some managers in place. And then my goal is to be phase 3, where literally the business runs without me.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how we're set up within Model My Home. And it's totally different. We're trailblazers within the staging business. For many people, it's a hobby. Yeah. For us, it's a true business. And we just want to help as many people as possible.
That's awesome. Hey, I think pretty much everybody listening to this show is trying to get from either stage 1 to 2 or stage 2 to 3. So
absolutely,
it's very fitting. I mean, in all honesty, I have in Homevestor speak, I'm what we call a high blue. So I'm always innovating. I'm always thinking of something new to do, which drives my wife nuts sometimes. But there's no doubt that it's hard to get to where the business runs without you. Actually, yes. My core business of buying and selling houses is the closest thing to that. It's the business I've been doing the longest. But other things that I do, I can't seem to get myself out of the mix. And in some instances, I'm kind of the guy, so it's hard for me to get out of the mix. And I think in those instances, it's just really important to do something that you love, right? So
absolutely. When you have that passion, it will keep you going.
Yeah. So inside of you have a number of employees that are out setting up homes, probably deciding what they're going to do from a design standpoint. Are they also salespeople? Are they the ones who are finding new business and finding repeat customers and things like that?
That's a good question. You know, we let them choose. For many people, we have teachers on our staff. We have moms that have kids that want to pick up the kids, you know, at 3:30. So we let them choose. We make this work for them. So whenever we bring people on our team, they fill out a business blueprint. They decide what they want to make for that year, and then we can structure their position based on, you know, making it fit for them, and making sure we have the right people on the bus is key.
Yeah.
If they feel like that they don't want to be a salesperson, we help them overcome that and say, really, you're an expert advisor. You know, you are an educator. You're not a used car salesman. So we help with those soft skills and the training if they do want to go out and teach and train and secure relationships and make a little bit of commission when they do bring in a job. So that's kind of how we're set up on the inside.
That's great. So would you say, that was interesting that I didn't know that. So you primarily have, is it mothers that this is a second job or a job in addition to their family or things like that? Is that primarily who you're
I would say so. A lot of people do this part-time. We have probably half of our team are full-time, but they do still, they don't work on the weekends. You know, they're done by 4 o'clock. And because we have such a good, strong team, they work well together, they're efficient, they can get in and get out. Time is money in this business. And so, you know, we just make it work for them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm always fascinated to learn about new business models. So in your model, do you have some sort of central hub where you have all of the materials, furniture, and decorations and things like that? And it's
yes, we do.
They just come to a central hub and pick that up? And
we do. We have a 6,000 square foot warehouse here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, right in Addison. And then we have our trucks that actually deliver furniture if we're doing a vacant home. They deliver the furniture, the stagers show up, and make it pretty, within a few hours. So we do have systems, processes in place to make that happen. We'll have monthly meetings here, but most people work out of their homes or they're out marketing, and we just have. The difference between us and a lot of stagers is we own our own inventory. Okay. So we keep about 130 active homes staged at any given time. And then our warehouse here is for new jobs that come in. We do a lot of D stages, and we'll move that to a new stage that has the same specs and same price point. And then we'll tweak that. So we really have a system of efficiency that we've tried to set up. Not that there's not any problems that come up as a business owner, but we do all we can to help as many people. Yeah,
that's awesome. And so tell us a little bit about your plans. I know you plan to expand. Can you talk a little bit about, I suspect when you go into a new market, you have to have a new warehouse, new inventory, things like that. So that's probably the big investment, of course, finding the people as well. But if you go into you pretty much have to pick, you can't really grow slowly. Like you're going to have to double. If you go to a new market, you're going to have to buy all new furniture, and not that you'll double, but it's a significant investment to go into a new market, I guess.
It is. It's a significant investment to do vacant properties, because our average price point may be, $1,350 for a vacant. And so we're maybe putting $7,000 to $8,000 worth of furniture and inventory into that home. So you can do the math on that's just your cost alone. So of course, labor and everything. So it is that's why you don't have a whole lot of stagers that have their own inventory like we have decided to do. So when we decide to go into new markets, right now I'm doing like you, teaching, coaching, training, developing an industry association to help other people grow their business. And we'll see what the future holds for us. But there is a significant cost into opening a staging business and all the labor and materials. It's like moving 700 times in a house and out of a home like we did. So you can imagine all the missing or the pieces that have to go on to make that happen.
Right. And I don't actually know this number. I've said this number before, but in hindsight, I'm not sure that I knew what I was saying. But do you know about how many houses are actively listed at any time in the North Texas area?
You can go to Netris, NTREIS, and it will show you monthly reports. So that is usually 25 to 35,000 active homes on the market at any given time. And that will also tell you days on market. And this year we sat at about 65. Usually we're a good 70, 80. So, we really need to, as stagers, know these numbers so that we can build our statistics. Just like 50% of our homes have accepted offers within 2 weeks, and 90% within 45 days. So you can imagine if 90% of your homes were under contract within 45 days, that's huge. And that's really all different price points that we service. Most of our homes are selling at least at 99% of that list price. Many, like I said, this year sold over and above. 106% was close to the average.
Wow. And so I guess, and my point there in the number of listings is you have tremendous growth opportunities still in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Right? Absolutely.
We're not scratching the scratch. Just to say, if you talk about our market share, it is very low. And we're up against a lot of self-stagers and agents that don't really focus on listing a home, but they're focused on staging it as well. And it's like your time value of money here is a little off.
Yeah. And so how do you find new customers? Is it, I'm sure there's a little bit of everything, but do you actively, are you trying to tap into, I assume you're going mostly through the realtor community, broker community to try to network that way?
Real estate agents are key. We do a lot of educational marketing. We'll go in and do MCE classes, teach and tours, events, because I would rather talk to a room of 20 or 30 of my key clients, my dream team, than one-on-one. Now, I will do one-on-one, and we teach this within our model for those agents that you really believe in. They are a dream teamer.
Yeah.
However, we do a lot of that educational marketing, and that will allow us to kind of select. We want to select people that we work with. We're at a point of that in our business. So anything that we can do to solidify that relationship through education is usually key. Showing them statistics, showing them before and after pictures, showing them the difference that it makes.
And do you pay any sort of referral fees? Do you get business that way, or do you just try to incentivize people through relationships? Or
that is something we're looking at in 2014. We have we are really aligning ourselves with key partners within the real estate industry. Mm-hmm. That we can help grow each other's businesses. We're all working with the same clients. Why not refer the best of the best, the cream of the crop, and so that we can, when a client, say that's an investor, and they surround themselves with experts, they are going to have the best product, and it's going to sell quickly for top dollar. So it's not about teaching them how to do things. It's about letting them be the expert in their area and then surrounding themselves with key people. So referral fees happen here and there, and but most of the time it's just a good recommendation. As a client, I'm going to, if you're going to ask me who the best moving company is, who the best painter is, I'm going to give you that information because we have tested and tried those people as well. Right. And so our years of experience have a great vendor list that we can help people surround themselves with experts.
That's great. That's great. And do you know what percentage of your business, just roughly speaking, is investors versus just one-off home sellers?
Absolutely. I had to fill this out for my business coach last night. Okay. And that we definitely look at all of these.
So the coach has a coach, to clarify. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Right? Always.
Isn't that funny? I mean, everybody has. I mentor a bunch of people, and every once in a while I let it slip out that I have a mentor too. I have mentors too. So
hey, Tiger Woods has a coach, right? Dirk has a coach. So if you want to be the best of the best, you can never get to a situation where you feel like you've arrived. We're always learning and growing.
That's right.
And so to answer your question, with our business, really in 2012 and 13, we do about 60% of our business comes from investors, which is interesting, but they get it. The ones that we work with, they usually have a property a month. We work with home investors, and we work with several franchise owners, and they wouldn't call anyone else because they know it works. It's a system. They can budget, just like they budget for flooring and the key things that need to happen. They set aside money and they say, this is my icing on the cake. At the end of the day, I can't just sell a naked vacant home. I have to have, we're an emotional industry, and those buyers have to connect. So they understand the importance of it, and that we are a visual industry. We've got to get that home sold.
Yeah, and I suspect from a business standpoint or relationship standpoint, it's a lot easier to work with investors too because of the repeat business. I mean, if you're working with the one-off folks, either they or the agent that likes you has to convince the next person every single time.
Exactly.
To use your services. So I won't do it. I won't quote this right, but there's a quote about the best customer is a customer you already have, something along those lines of selling them more and providing good service, obviously, to make sure that you get more sales. But yeah, that's
absolutely
great. That's great. So, so tell us a little bit about, I know you're involved in some associations. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the other things you do, from speaking and some of the associations you're involved with?
Absolutely. With speaking, for me, I enjoy doing that. I can speak about staging and our experiences all day long, and if I feel like I'm adding value to someone, and if there's some key nugget I can say to help them see something differently or implement a new process, I'm all about it. And so we speak, I don't know if you know Mike Reese and Jay Kinder. They have NAEA, National Association of Expert Advisors, and it is like NAR, where it's apples and oranges in the fact that they go in and they teach and coach and have programs. So they have national events that we're involved with them very heavily. We get to speak, to 800 agents at a time, and then we're also involved with Infusionsoft. We are a vertical partner with them in the home staging industry, so love that relationship. We speak at REI and Investor Expos. We also do events here just in the local Dallas-Fort Worth area. And then, as I mentioned, we have started HSRA, Home Staging and Redesign Association. We're the founders of that association in 2013, and we've done 3 large events, national events, plus 6 other events throughout the country. And in 2014, we're planning another 8 events, plus our big summit. So it's about taking the message and just showing people something maybe they don't know. Yeah. But then also me as a business owner, always learning and growing, through Brian Tracy, Dan Kennedy, Jim Rohn, all of those key people that can pour in to my life, plus our business coaches. Actually, I have 2, and so because I don't know what I don't know, and I always want to be a step ahead, or at least a couple of steps ahead of my team, my business. Plus, if there's anything I can say to people to help them make right decision, I'm going to help do that.
Yeah, and it's easy to get kind of complacent in your personal growth to where you may be a lot of people may view you as at the top of your game, but if you view yourself that way, then you're not going to grow anymore. So it's tough because in the real estate investing space, we've had a good level of success, and it's easy to start to set the bar too low for yourself and say that, well, I'm already, I'm already big or whatever, but
I've already arrived.
Right. So yeah. So I'd like to learn a little bit more about the National Association of Expert Advisors. So is that, and I'm just not familiar with it yet, but is that inside of the real estate industry, or is it?
It is for the home staging industry and redesign. People that a home that's 10 years or older usually needs to have some redecorating, redesign. Maybe they're not moving, but they want a new kitchen remodel. There's a lot of people within the home staging industry or the design industry that those kind of partner together. Yeah. And so we have created this industry for them to give them the resources they need to grow their business. So as I mentioned, a phase 1, a phase 2, or phase 3, that's how we've set the association up. You can identify yourself as a phase 1. I'm just beginning in this industry. And so you need different resources than someone that's at a phase 3. So the checklist, the how-tos, the 101 type resources we make available to these home stagers and redesigners. And it's like a monthly continuity program, very low, $49 a month. They have access to resources. A phase 2, that to grow and develop their team, and they're stepping more into a management position. They have different problems and pain points. So we have resources to identify with them. And then a phase 3, they're on metrics and profitability and just their exit strategy. So we have different resources for them as well. So that's kind of how we set up the association, and it's really worked well.
Yeah. Now, for the folks that you have working for you that they're involved, do you have any people that did this on their own before, and it's just a lot easier to work with you? Yeah, because I know some other stagers, and they tend to be women that love HGTV. They really love they really have some design acumen for sure. The business, in my experience, some of them that I've used, the business seems a little questionable as to how they make money doing it, but it's the passion and the love to do it that seems to make sense. So your model seems really awesome in terms of taking care of that whole business side of it and allowing people just to do something that they enjoy. Where I'm not saying that folks that are working for you are making less money or underpaid or anything like that, but back to the love what you're doing. For some folks, I'm sure that this may be just as much of a hobby as it is a way to make money. So.
Absolutely. And so we do all we can to teach and train and coach them and provide here at the office the staff to be able so that they're not just a phase 1. They're not having to take care of the paperwork and contracts and all of those things that we've had people that have been in the staging industry join our team because of the overhead, and just they were burnt out. And so if they would rather surround themselves with experts. If they're taking a trip to Colorado and they get a call from an agent that has a staging job, Well, they still can make money while they're in Colorado, and then we've got a team here to facilitate that job.
Yeah, and I will say with folks that I've used in the past, it's been an issue. I've had to plan their work around I've had to plan staging around their personal lives and things.
Yes,
I get it, but it's from a business standpoint, that's probably not ideal. So
yeah.
Awesome. Well, so I understand your husband's a chiropractor. Is that right?
He is. He is a chiropractor.
You always say awesome in front of my husband, so I don't think my wife says that. I have to work on that a little bit.
Well, he's a great inspiration, and we're real involved in ministry. So working with youth and really pouring in, maybe that's where I get my teaching and coaching. You know, I just love to help people, and so he has that same heart, and we love to travel, and he has business coaches, and I love taking even other industries and seeing what they're doing. How are they marketing to their clients? I mean, that's a whole Dan Kennedy, experience in itself. But what is his business coach telling him that he needs to do, and how can I take that and adapt it and implement it into our industry and our business? So he's just a good wealth of knowledge for me, and I really appreciate him.
That's great. So is he involved in your business at all?
No, in the early years when I said, "Oh, we've got a D stage that they forgot to call us, and they're closing tomorrow. We have to go D stage this house." So you can imagine being in that position.
Yeah.
So early years, he would come home and say, "Where's the tree? Where's the picture on the wall? Oh, it's in a house." So he's been involved in some aspect of early years, but he has his business, and we're trying to get to phase 3.
Great. And so you're speaking at this point, it's just coming up in just a little over a week here, the REI Expo.
Yes.
And so what presentation are you going to give? Can you give a little sneak peek as to what you're going to talk about there?
It's always about making less mistakes as you possibly can in this investment business. We've done investment properties as well. I love it. I would do it more if I had the time. I really enjoy the process, and it's great money if you do it right. So it's all about doing things right. And so if we can help people, giving them a top 10 list of things that they can avoid, helping sell within 2 weeks at 99% of list price, we're going to have a lot of wealth in that information. It's not a sales pitch, because, like I said, we have a lot of business, and we do, and not that we have arrived, because our goal is 2,000 homes for 2014. But I'm not there to get business, and I just want to give that information. So if anybody's listening and they want to come just learn some key tricks on how can you save money by looking at the big ticket items, and really surrounding yourself with experts. That's what it's about. Offering a good product at the end of that day that you're proud that a family's going to be living in. But then, of course, you making money as well, and making sure that your pockets, you haven't left any money on the table, and you haven't made some wrong decisions. So we help people before a hammer hits the nail, of design and how that home should flow. Don't knock down all the walls in a home. Yes, people have open floor plan, but you've just kind of created a weird space.
Yeah.
We help them on the front side, as well as after that rehab has happened, getting it staged and looking pretty, because your first showing is online.
Right.
And a vacant home's not very pretty to look at.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's hard to look past. It's interesting. There's different lines of thought, and I won't even say that, whatever I think is not right or wrong. It's just kind of what I've thought. I've tended to do a bigger staging on houses that are a little more expensive, because I think people need to see. There's usually a move-up house, right? So they want to kind of envision what it's going to look like as their home. Where a lot of first-time home buyers they don't know what to look for. They're just excited to buy a house, and that may not matter as much. And in some instances where we've had houses that have like kind of weird spaces, we felt like we want to stage them to kind of give somebody an idea of how to use that space. So something that just seems weird, like, is that a bedroom or is that an office, or
right,
what's that weird kind of cubby area next to the stairs there. And, we'll put a desk or, it doesn't almost matter what goes there, just the fact that something goes there. So you can kind of
define the space.
Get them to, there you go, define the space. You even have a phrase for that, okay?
Define the space. Well, studies show when we do training and coaching, we're always looking for stats, from NAR, from NAEA, solid stats. And 90% of buyers that come in cannot envision. I mean, we are in this industry as an investor, as a real estate agent. We can look at a blank home and immediately see the after product. But the buyer coming in, we have to put themselves in their shoes, ourselves in their shoes. And, they're working retail, they're a computer specialist. They don't know. And so average walk time is about 6 minutes. We have to paint the picture. And we had a contract with a mobile home company that literally we had a model in every community. And so if a mobile home needs to be staged, every home needs to be staged. We do buy and holds because if you can get $100, $200 more monthly rent, it makes sense.
Wow.
So anything that we can do, just even if we have 3 levels of service that we provide on vacants, and if we can just put some key things in there to paint the picture, it works really at every price point.
Great. Well, anything you want to share with folks who might be watching the show? Do you have any links? If there's any links you have to share, we'll add them certainly below the video so folks can access you and learn more about Model My Home and maybe some of the upcoming events you're going to be at. We'll put a link for the expo for sure. So
yes, well, I mean, we have our standard modelmyhome.com site if you want to go check that out. We also have myhsra.com, and that's our association. And we have authored 2 different designations. So if people are out there that want to get their staging designation and go through workshops on how you can, whether open a business or, join another team, the people need to get some type of training. And so we have professionalstagingexpert.com. And we also have another designation for real estate agents that want to give that advice. And it's certifiedhomepreparationadvisor.com. So several websites there, and there's also some resources, free resources that you can click on and fill out a little web form, get some information. And if they have any questions, they can always call 855-85-STAGE, and that will be here at our central location, and we'll help them out as much as we can.
Awesome. Well, we'll add all those links to the bottom of the video here, so don't have to worry about remembering all those. There's a lot of them, some long ones too there. So, but hey, thanks so much for joining us today. Really appreciate your time.
No problem. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, and I'll see you at the expo here soon. We'll both be speaking there. So
sounds great.
Have
Look
a great
forward
week.
to.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Are you a member of FlipNerd.com, the most robust real estate investing platform in existence, where you can find off-market wholesale deals and great vendors literally in your market? You can get access to advice from experts and learn about local clubs and events right in your backyard. If not, please visit FlipNerd.com and register for a free account. You can register in less than a minute. It's pretty much the coolest site that's ever existed in the real estate investing industry, so get on over to FlipNerd.com.